You were kicking people's asses?
My gauge goes out there and quiet things down.
Your gauge would bring granola and ask them to quiet down because it's not as crunchy. My gauge goes out there and is like, does Gage have to slap a fool?
Yeah, but listen, Gauge.
Everyone got quiet.
Gauge just went out there and he spread some sage.
Sage.
Gage and his sage, and he quieted everybody down. And he was like, mellow out, everybody. And everyone was like, that sounds cool. And then he invited him to his sound bath meditation class.
Okay, first of all, when he went out there, all you and I heard was, whoosh, psh, 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 psh. That's not the sound of sage burning. That's the sound of asses getting kicked.
Yeah, but you know actually what that sound was? It was the sound of him whipping that sage back and forth so fast. His hands are so quick. Yeah.
That's my gauge.
Yeah, and Gauge gets out there and he really, he's good to the people. Look how they're still smiling. Look, she's wearing sunglasses now. He makes people cooler.
My gauge would, yes.
Your gauge lights people on fire.
Your gauge brought like homemade toasted corn nuts.
Oh, how delicious are those? How delicious are homemade toasted? I didn't even know if you could do that. Can you make a homemade toasted corn nut?
You'll find out on today's episode of Prinze. That'll piss him off. What are these jerks talking about? All right, man. Are we ready?
Ready
to go?
when you are. All right. Hey, everybody, Prinze and the Wolf.
Wolf and the Prinze. Do we sound the same, or are levels at equal volumes?
I can't hear my headphones.
I can't hear my headphones.
Okay.
Now I hear a little static.
You hear something?
Yeah, keep it going.
That's as far up as it goes.
All right, that's what I got then.
I hear a little. Now I hear something on mine.
All right, so now
there we go. We're good.
We got a little something.
Buddy, this I have to tell you.
Another great hat, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You always rock the good little helmets, don't you?
I got this. I stole this off the Lights Out set.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's kind of chewed up.
Yeah. I saw it. I don't know if they meant to leave it in my green room, but I assumed since it was in my green room that it was mine.
House rules, bro. House rules.
Yeah. Now, Josh Wolf.
Freddie Prinze.
Prinze and the Wolf.
Thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Buddy, first of all, I do want to say, I sent a tweet out yesterday. And how was your weekend, by the way?
Weekend was good. My hip's hurting a little bit today. Wife had me haul ass down some stairs only to find out the emergency that was texted to me wasn't quite the emergency suggested. So I'm a little upset that I got injured for no damn reason at all.
Wait, did you get an emergency text from within the house?
Yeah.
No, like a, hey, Freddie?
Well, we live in a big house.
Yeah.
I was up on the top floor. She was on the bottom floor. And there's no way I'd be able to hear her. And so she texted. I was like, oh, snap. Ran down to find the flood. There was no flood.
Oh, the text was, there's a flood?
Yeah, but there was no flood. But the text read, there's a flood. So I'm booking it.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the running water. I don't see water. I see some towels. Okay, I found it. There's no running water. There's no leak. I'm like, damn, this woman is like the illest plumber ever. Girl could kill a vampire and fix a leaky pipe in seconds. She comes down, so I go, where's the flood? She goes, there's no flood. I say, what?
Do we need to check the text?
She goes, oh, I spilled some liquid detergent in the laundry room. I need your help to clean it up. I go, can I just show you my phone real quick? I show it to her.
Tell me exactly what the text said.
Okay. I'll read it to you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, man. All right. So I'm in the attic. I'm cleaning it up, getting ready to take the kids to school. Can you please help me? There's a flood in the mud room.
Wow, that sounds pretty.
So your boy's bad ankle and all.
Did you slide down the banister?
No, but I'm trying to go quick because I don't want my house to get wrecked. We just spent a lot of dough on the floors, man. So I'm moving my hip, like the front of it, the hip flexor.
Oh, yeah.
I hear it go like that, and I'm like, ah! And so now I'm hobbling down. Okay, where's the flood? There's no flood. No, what do you mean? There's a flood.
Yeah.
No, I spilled liquid detergent on the floor. I need help cleaning it up. Can I show you my phone real quick? Yeah. All right. So you see this? She's like, oh yeah. And then looks me dead in the face. Doesn't smile. Doesn't even crack a smile.
Yeah.
Goes, I just used the wrong words.
All of them.
I'm like, yo. She goes, we get the kids to school. It's their birthday, right? It's their birthday week. And so instead of making a special, like do all the kids that have it in a week, all the kids that have the same birthday that week, they announce their names at like flag, nice. Right? So we're going there and we're going up the stairs. And she goes, yo, why are you limping? I'm like, yeah.
Because there was a flood.
Because you jacked my leg up without even kicking me.
What word? I mean, I don't even know if you needed a text because it seems like she had it handled.
She did. I think she wanted help cleaning it up.
Right. It can get soapy.
Well, and in the mornings, you got kids. We were taking them to school that day. Yep. So I get that. But just be like, yo, I spilled some shit. Help me pick this up. I'll be like, word, I'll be down. Yeah. And I won't like go full speed Ghostbuster style. Wow, wow. I mean, I was good, man.
If you had one of those fire poles at your house.
Yeah, I would have used it. Yeah. Floors are expensive, bro. Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you something. And then we'll get into some other shit. But if you could modify your home, let's pick one of three things.
Ooh.
Let's pick one of three things. To either have a fire pole that went from the attic to the kitchen.
Yeah.
A water slide that goes from your attic into the pool. Or what's a good one? What's a third good one? I mean, those are two pretty good.
One of those chairs that go up the stairs.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're going to get that soon. You're after today. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do the fire pole.
I already know what I'm picking.
You know out of those two?
Dude.
Fire pole or water slide into the...
Water slide
into the
from
pool?
the attic down to the pool.
How dope.
Be so sick. Let me tell you something, man. We went to a Disney hotel for Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, Florida years ago, like 4 years ago.
April, I was there with you.
Yes. The hotel had a water park in the hotel. Now, it was a tiny one.
Yeah.
But still a water park.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting much. They had two legit water slides. One that was fast as hell, even gave me a little like water slide burn on my butt. Took like 3 days for it to go away. It stunk.
Yeah.
It was so fast. I love water slides. I always have. Every time I see one, it reminds me of this old episode of The Amazing Race where this country couple, they were in like Dubai and they race into this water park and they have to go on one of the tallest water slides in the world. And the girl was afraid of heights before she went on the show. So you're already an idiot. If you're just trying to be on TV, you ain't going to win. And you know you ain't going to win. So you're just trying to be famous for nothing. So when she failed, you know I love it. That's like when the girl got hit in the face with the watermelon that one season.
Yo!
Like, that's the greatest moment of television in the history of television. And I don't care if anyone disagrees.
Dude, the noise that made. Oh, my.
There are montages of it on YouTube that I still watch.
You could hear her brain move.
Yeah. Telling you. So this girl, she gets on top of the slide, and she freezes. And her man's like, and it's one of those things where they've already been together long enough where he's already over her.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no, you are not going to let me. He had a country accent. You're not going to make us lose this. For this, you just got to slide down. I can't. Don't make me. I'm not trying to make you. You're going to do it. He grabs her. And he physically, and they've already been there for like 20 minutes. And he's like, you're doing, she's like, take your head. It looked like an attempted rape abduction, right?
Yeah.
And she's screaming, and the guy who runs the slide is like, just looking at these like American idiots, like shaking his head. Another team comes up. They've been there an hour. The girl won't do it. And it's two Harlem Globetrotters named Flight Time and Big Easy.
Yo, I saw this season.
They go up there, and they see them first. And the one guy knows she's scared. He goes, man, that looks real scary. I wouldn't do that. And the boyfriend looks so annihilated. Like, you broke. Like, he's looking at him like, oh, come on. How are you going to do me like that? And then the Globetrotters slide down super easy. They fail. They're out, kicked out the race. They lost. I was so happy. But anyway, I would pick, long story long, water slide. Because my kids would have a blast with that too, man.
You don't think they'd have fun with the fireman pole?
The thing with the fireman pole, it won't take me back up.
Okay, what if we had it that took you back up too?
Then probably screw the kids.
Right? What
if I could just stand on a platform and it would just take me to the video game attic? Come on, son. Dad, can we have a water slide? Silence! I'm gaming. Dad, can we at least go on the pole? On my pole? On my fireman's pole. You want to go on that? Save your money. Get yourself a water slide.
Yeah. Dude, by the way, I will say, those water slides, the black where they drop you straight down, where there are parts of it where your body's not even on the slide.
Yeah, bro. Where they say, don't sit up. Why? You'll die.
Yeah. Hey, how about fuck you? I'm not.
They're fun, Josh.
So you're telling me if I look, I'm going to die? Hey, eat dicks.
Dude, it's so much fun, though. You're literally, you feel like a bullet going out a gun. Like, it's scary.
You know how scared I am
in a
of
bad
heights, right?
and great way.
Heights are my biggest fear.
Yeah, and you conquered them in New Zealand.
Yeah, but
Fear conquered.
No.
Fear conquered.
Fear 100% reinforced.
Did you see Jeff Dye jump out of a plane?
No. Was he? Oh, I saw the pictures. He didn't look too comfortable.
No, dude, he did not.
He looked like me.
That's what you would look like.
Yeah, he
on
looked
a
like
water
me.
slide.
Minus, by the way, minus the tears. At least he wasn't crying. And by the way, if someone's jumping tandem with me out of an airplane, I hope you don't mind the feeling of poop on your stomach. I'm shitting myself. 100% shitting myself. 100%. You will feel you'd have a warm feeling.
I'll tell you that story of my boy who went on a date and shit himself.
I did that too. First date with Beth.
Whoa, she stuck with you?
Yeah, man. It was at Bossa Nova on Sunset. Near the Rock and Roll Ralphs.
You maybe told me this, but you're telling me again.
Okay, so this was the first date we had gone out. Right?
Yeah.
She had come over to my house. It was the first date we had gone out.
Where you like hit her from the kids, right?
Yeah, right where she slept in the closet. Yeah, but she had come, but this is the first date, and we went out, and I am a mouse sneezer. You know so you scream.
Okay, yeah.
And I kind of didn't want to scream in her face.
Oh.
So I plugged my nose.
But it had to get out somewhere.
Yeah, I reverse sneezed.
No way.
My asshole sneezed. And you know what? I know people always wonder.
Did she know?
Okay. So she looked at me, and she obviously saw the expression on my face change because it was enough, Freddie, to where I was thinking, this is substantial. This is...
It's like he either just saw a terrorist attack or he shit his pants.
Yes. So she said to me...
That look is like...
Yeah, dude, yes.
Did I just...
Yeah.
Did I just see something blow up or did I just shit my pants? Is the end of that sentence.
So... she said to me, I need to use the restroom. Now, my first instinct was to get up and leave.
Yeah, dude. I'm not going to lie. You're a better man than me because that's tap out for me and I would have ran.
Here's the reason I didn't. Because for sure I'm doing the poop walk.
Super hot, too.
I'm doing the poop walk. You know the walk I'm talking about.
Yeah, man.
And there's two different poop walks, everybody. There's the one where you have already poop in your pants, and there's the one where you pull into your driveway and you're trying not to shit your pants.
Yeah.
Those are two separate
But it's right on the edge.
It's right. One's legs just are a little wider.
One has more shame attached to it. One has more fear attached to it.
One is a way more careful walk. So I was like, I can't walk out of Bossa Nova with the poop walk because everybody's going to know this is the poop walk. So I was like, I'm just going to have to try to enlist her help because if she won't help, I'm going to have to do the poop walk anyways, right? So I'm just going to try to get a...
How quick does this thought process go through your head?
Well,
seconds or do you have minutes?
She gets up to go to the bathroom.
She's giving you time to run, bro.
Check it out.
She's such a good chick.
She got up to go to the bathroom, right? And I sat for a second and I tried to get up and I was like, oh no. There 100% there's a stain there. 100%.
No, there's not a stain there.
100%.
No, there's not a stain
I'm
there.
already sitting on it, and it's already going through my pants. 100%. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to tell her. So she came back and she sit down, Freddie, and I said, hey, I got to tell you something. And she said, you can tell me anything. And
she already knew.
And I said, well, we're about to find out, aren't we? And she said, go ahead. And I told her, I said, I shit myself. And she, exactly what she said. She goes, I knew it. I know you shit yourself. She said, I'm sitting 2 feet away from you. You don't think I could smell that you shit your pants? And then she said, everybody in this section knows that you shit your pants. And I go, I don't think so. And the dude sitting next to us goes, yeah, man. When are you leaving?
No way.
I was ruining his meal.
This is the greatest. This is the greatest story.
It's online. The reason I'm not going too deep into it is because it's a bit of mine and it's online.
Go to Josh Wolf Comedy.
It's on my YouTube
channel.
Yeah.
Go watch this right now. I'm doing this as soon as
yeah, man. So it was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing.
She stuck with you.
But I told her, I go, look,
and she's creative.
Uh-huh.
She's smart.
Yep.
She's beautiful.
Yep.
She had a big pool of men in this town to choose from. Mm-hmm. Men that didn't shit in their pants.
Yes. Yes.
And y'all are still together.
This is what I'm saying, guys. Listen, maybe I know flowers and a special first date.
But y'all fans on, it's like Sarah's fans, especially on my social media, that think Sarah and I are the reason you should believe in love, which is bullshit in the first place. Y'all should believe in love without famous people that you don't know.
Yeah.
That story right there is why you got to believe in love. Because for every man out there, maybe not for every girl, but for every man out there, there's a woman who you could shit your pants on on a first date. And because she sees something else inside you besides indigestion, she's going to stick around. I don't know a lot of dudes that would do that if a girl on a first date shit their pants. Do you know what the guy said, hey, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Like, your girl went to the bathroom to give you some dignity. If it was a guy saying, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick, they're just leaving. Dude, they're just leaving.
Oh, they're ghosting you at the back. Can I tell you, dignity is the exact word she said to me. She said to me, I knew you shit your pants. She goes, I went to the bathroom so you could leave with some dignity. I didn't expect you to be here when I got back. And I was like, well, here I am, looking for some help.
Sometimes you listen to these, and I just want you to know I love you a lot. That's like, I'm telling you, man, I don't know if Sarah would have stuck around.
Yeah, man, look.
Sarah and I's first date, real date, we went to this sushi joint where I basically took every girl that was trying to date me, because if we didn't have the same taste in food, we weren't going to make it.
Right.
And they served crazy shit here. And so I just kept watching her, and every dish she'd be like, oh, that's some crazy shit. All right, I got to eat it. And she was good. If I would have shit my pants, that would have been it. I'm pretty sure that would have been a wrap. And she would have started dating someone else.
If she had eaten some crazy stuff and she had shit her pants.
You're putting me on the spot, man. You're trying to, like, you're testing my character right now.
Well,
because honestly, dude, I don't know.
That video you sent me on Twitter yesterday, do you know I've probably watched that, Freddie, gotta be near triple digits.
Is that not like the lowest form of humanity?
There were so many things to watch.
It's like every form of disgusting humanity. There was all bad things that human beings represent was on camera at the exact same time.
I want to ask you a question. In your professional opinion, did she puke on him on purpose?
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
It was an attack. Yeah. It was, this is all I bring to the table. And I'm going to use what skills I have.
By the way.
And I'm going to puke all over this guy twice.
What move is that? XXY? What move is that?
Little button combo?
Yeah.
It's back, forward X, back, forward Y. Yeah.
They should do a projectile.
Because it's a double thing. So it's back, forward X for the first one. And if you want that puke on his head on the second one, it's back, forward Y. It's a combo.
Did somebody scream grandpa in that video?
I don't know.
That's what it sounded like.
A lot of screaming, a lot of obesity.
Gauge, are you looking for it right now?
A lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs, a lot of non-high school graduates.
It was... And a lot of
future
prisoners. Of real slow fighting. There was a lot of hugging, a lot of slow fighting.
When you're that drunk and out of shape, it's hard to look like
that was the
Khabib
slowest.
And Dustin Poirier.
That was the slowest fight I had ever seen in my entire life. Gauge, are you looking at it?
It literally reminded me of a Monty Python bit from the 70s that they would do, like, and here is the 100-meter dash for people with no sense of general direction. And they'd fire the gun, and then everyone just run in different ways.
Yeah.
It looked like, and now here are
It looked like a sketch.
The battle royal for people who have no idea how to fight.
It's on mine and Freddie's Twitter page. Gauge, you've watched it a couple times.
Go have a laugh and a puke. It'll be very Roman of you.
It's one of my favorite things. Now, I do want to tell you real quick about this weekend. Because I tweeted something.
Yeah.
And you...
Dance moves.
I wanted to wait till we got here to tell you. So every now and then...
you ignored my tweet, bro.
Every now and then. I didn't want to get into it because I want... Right. Every now and then...
Doesn't hurt anymore.
I do something called a dance-off on a late show, Friday or Saturday. And I've only ever done it once a weekend, but I don't do it every weekend. And usually it's on the Friday or Saturday night.
You kind of feel out the vibe, see if they're down for. Okay.
It's also a long bit. It's a long bit. So I got to feel like the crowd wants to stay a little longer. I got to feel like the staff is okay with it. But what I do is I bring 3 people on stage. And I play a song on guitar, and I make them do interpretive dance behind me to that song.
That's way She's All That right there, bro.
Okay.
That's way Rachel Lee Cook, 1997.
Let me tell you something. It's never gone poorly.
I couldn't.
No. This weekend.
It's interpretive dance at a comedy club, bro.
Dude.
It's going to be taken the right way.
And you know what? One dude named Tater came on this weekend. Tater was high as fuck.
But Tater's probably got some moves.
Well, here's it. I had 2 different nights. I did it both nights, Friday and Saturday, because Friday went so well. I was like, this is the best dance off that's ever happened. I'm going to try it again. The crowds in Columbus were amazing, guys. The amount of people who came out. But then I was like, I'm going to try it Saturday. On stage comes this woman, Carolyn, who looks
Caroline.
She got 5 kids. She looks like a soccer mom. This is not an insult to her. It's the best way I can describe it. She was fantastic. Her husband was fantastic. Guys, the people who come to my shows, you guys are the fucking balls. The best. So she comes on stage. The first 2 people are a little nervous, and I keep telling them.
And what's the vibe on the guitar that you're playing? Okay. What kind of music?
This week I played I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
So, and that's why
that lends itself to different styles. I like that.
Yes, and the crowd responds not to great dancers. The crowd responds to heart and
commitment.
Yes, dude.
You
heart
can suck,
and effort.
but if you commit,
you're gonna win.
Getting love.
And here's the thing: you're playing for. You win $50 for your server from me.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's the get. You dance, your server, and you win.
I'd give 60, but
yeah.
No. But that's nice.
Do you know I do that to my brother when we ever go out to dinner and we split the bill? I always tip a penny over him.
You're Macaulay Culkin. It's why I don't go out to dinner with that fucker anymore. I hate Mac. I hate him. I love him. I'd lie in court for him, but I hate that son of a bitch.
He out-tip you?
Yo, he's a little bit better than me in video games because he knows cheats. So like late at night, we'll play old school Fight Night on Xbox.
Yeah.
And he has this guy who's 100 in every category named Macaulay Hernandez. And
Hernandez?
Yeah, he's half Irish, half Mexican.
I love that.
He's a tough dude, wears Mexican trunks. He made him 6'9", all the like top stats, 260, like everything. And then he's like, hey, you want to fight me? I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. This is Mike Tyson. He's like, cool, this is Macaulay Hernandez. I'm like, what the fuck is that? My guy's 5'10". And he knocked me out in the first round. When we go out to dinner, he does the same shit. And I always forget because we have some wine and I'm, feeling groovy. So I go, hey, split it? Oh, yeah, split it. And then we split it. And then, I go, all right, cool, I signed a tip. And he goes, cool, can I see that? And he never signs first, right? I go, yeah, cool. Or he'll say something stupid like, I'm shit at math, man. Can I see that? I'm like, yeah. And then he'll give it to me and go, okay, cool, here you go. And I'm like, all right, cool. He goes, oh, did you not look? And I'm like,
is it a penny more?
1 penny?
I do that too.
You stupid dick.
That's
I hate it. I hate him. I hate you, Mac. You guys should follow him on Bunny Ears podcast. Though.
Yeah, by the way, that podcast is
and
really
he does How to Cheat at Games, and it's how to cheat at basically every board game in the world, and it's really funny. So you guys check that out,
That's amazing.
But block him right after, son of a bitch.
So she come...
Caroline,
a guy named Rich.
And a guy named Tater.
And then another woman. I usually only do 3, but this woman's birthday, and Angie wanted to come on stage. We let her on stage.
Angie, go Angie.
So Tater and Angie... And I try not to give it away. Or
it's like Sonny and Cher.
I know. Tater and Angie, I don't want to give them the recipe to success, but I always impress on them. Look, it doesn't matter how good you are. This is interpretive dance. Hear the words, feel it. You will be rewarded for your effort.
Smart, dude. You'd be a good coach.
So Tater just went a little ethereal.
Yeah, like hippie dippy, yeah.
And I was like, cool, man.
That's a good go-to.
Yep, and I feel like Angie...
Kind of like, yeah. Very
Angie
hippie.
did the same thing. And the crowd, it was, man. So up comes Rich. And Rich had dimples. And he was... Rich
dimples
looked like Nick Lachey's cousin, Rich Lachey.
Yeah.
And so we're in Ohio, and he was kind of, and he was... And I said to him, I go, what's your name? And he goes... Rich. And I was like, oh, he had some attitude. So I started calling him Big Dick Rich. I go, check out Big Dick Rich, right?
It's a great nickname.
So, Big Dick Rich.
You give good nicknames. Most guys, you'd be a dick about that.
No, man.
You're like, oh, you want to be cool guy Rich with your... You're like, yo, Big Dick Rich. I love you. Dude.
That's not the... Look, anybody who sees my shows knows you leave...
You're a build them up, not a tear them down.
It's arms wide open.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun together, right? If you're an asshole, by the way, I go in hard.
Bro, I've seen you dress fools down, and you've also talked about dressing tables down early in the podcast when people acted a fool. That's the dad in you. The single dad raised 3 kids. I ain't got time for your nonsense.
That's exactly what it is.
No, that's the dad in you for sure. I love that, dude. And you do it, even though it's hard, it's funny, bro. It's funny.
It's to the point, I'll tell you what. So Rich
is up.
Rich is up. He does some sexy ass shit. You know what I mean?
Big Dick Rich would.
Big Dick Rich does.
Get your heart out, Magic Mike.
Carolyn comes up. Carolyn is a mother of 5. You can tell she's a little tight. And I go, Carolyn, now you saw Big Dick Rich and you saw the other 2. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And her husband was filming. I go, what's going on with you guys? You guys got kids? And he said, yeah. I go, where are those kids? And they were like, they're grandma and grandpa. I go, Carolyn, you want to have some fun? You want to let loose? And she said, yeah. I go, let's embarrass the fuck out of those little assholes. Let's show them what you got. Yeah, show them that you were a person before you were a mom.
Dude, you should be a director.
So, dude.
What are you doing with comedy?
Yo, she lifted her dress. She twerked on the wall.
Oh, my God.
She dropped into the splits.
You know how hard it is to get people to step out of their skin? Even professional actors, professional directors have a hard time getting people to come out of their skin and be something besides what they're comfortable presenting to the world. That takes skills, dog.
She was so psyched. And so Rich and Carolyn went to the second round. There's 2 rounds.
Yeah. Apologies to the other 2. Hippy Dippy is a good go-to.
Yeah.
But it's a safe play.
Nah.
The crowd senses safety.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. I've done in my shows, in my lifetime.
But Tater's the best name at all.
Tater, without a doubt. Yeah. And I go, what's your name? He goes, Tater. I'm like, okay. He was high as fuck.
Dude, I love Tater.
Me too, man.
I'm sorry you lost, Tater. If I was there, I'd have given you a vote.
And I tell everybody when they come on stage, you've already won. I know how hard it is to get on the stage every night, and I'm prepared. You showed up here, and
you saw how scared I was when we did our duo thing together, man. I don't know how y'all do that.
So much respect to people who come out of the crowd to get on stage. It's ballsy as fuck. Because in order for it to be funny, you kind of have to be bad.
You have to be willing to look bad.
And you have to go there.
Yeah.
And here's my question I have for you, Freddie, that I really wanted to ask you. By the way, the final round was something I've done. I don't know how many shows in my life. And I'm going to tell you, my Saturday Night Late Show in Columbus, top 3 shows I've ever done in my life. It was an hour, 45 minutes straight, sold out show, maybe 5 people left around the hour 30 mark.
Yeah.
It was just one of those nights where all the shows in Columbus were amazing. This particular one was an all-timer for me. But here's my question to you. I've put these dance-offs online before. This woman, Carolyn, she didn't show her underwear. It was one of those dresses that had like a little shorts under the dress. I don't know what she does for a living. I don't know if she really wants her kids to see it. But it would be an amazing video to post. I'm just in between without able to talk to her and ask her permission. Even though I say it's being videotaped, I'm in between on the people who run my page are like, post that motherfucker. And I'm like, I don't want to do that to somebody if that's not something she wants me to show. Where I was going to ask your opinion on that, because on one hand, they know it's being filmed.
Yes.
But you know what I mean?
I think your instincts to pause a moment are dead on, because even though people know there's alcohol involved.
Yes.
With Tater, there was some other fun stuff involved as well. He was the tater tot that night.
Oh, yeah.
So
he was baked for sure.
Yeah, he was. So I didn't even think that. That's why you're a comedian. That was way better. I think you're smart to pause. I will say this. The people who go to your shows also, I'd say 90% of them probably follow you on social media.
Yeah.
You could ask her to reach out on Instagram, and then you could get it right from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
I think so.
I think for a mom, if it's a bunch of dudes, like young dudes, and it's just like they're all partying, I don't think they would care as much. When it's a mother who goes to all the school functions and stuff like that, and has 5 kids, so she has to go to 5 different school functions.
That's why.
You don't want to maybe put her stuff out there. So I think it's good to pause. The people who run your page aren't parents, and that's okay. That's okay. But I think with permission, hell yeah. Or if the people who run your page want to, put in some effort and blur out the face and make sure that that's taken care of, then put some effort into that.
That's what I was going to say. The next thing I was going to say was I was just going to, for her entire set, just superimpose my face over hers.
Yeah, or like the have a nice day face or something. Yeah.
Something like that. So nobody sees.
Or my face. I twerk it up, dude.
How
twerk
funny
it
would
up
that?
and down.
If we
and
just
all around.
If we just switched between my face and your face, but you turn around and like
just the good moves, it's my face. The bad moves, your face. That's the rules.
I'm gonna put my face on Big Dick Rich. Yo, big. And by the way, I ended up giving $50 to all the servers.
Well, but you're a good guy.
You know
man.
what I mean.
You take care of everybody.
But big thanks to people in Columbus. This weekend the support was overwhelming. The meet and greets were overwhelming. You guys, I can't thank you enough. I'm in Boston this weekend. If you want to see some weird,
same club we did or different?
Yeah, same club.
Hey, right on. Shout out to that club, man.
And you want to see some weird? Come to the late shows. That's the shows where things go down.
That's a nice little green room they have.
Yeah,
there.
man.
It's comfy. I feel like it was air conditioned.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's nice, bro.
It's gonna be a good time. I might even see a Red Sox game while I'm there.
Oh, that'd be good, man.
I haven't gone this whole year.
Now and the hockey team,
the Bruins,
and the basketball team,
Celtics.
Those are the Boston teams, right?
Yeah,
but you guys don't have a football team.
The Patriots. They play.
No. But they don't play in Boston.
They play in Foxborough, outside of Boston.
Right. So you guys root for another city's team. That's cool.
Yeah,
in LA, we get all our own teams. It's great, man.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You guys should try to do that one time and not like claim credit for championships you don't have.
Maybe one of your teams in LA would be good sometimes, so you can claim a championship.
Well, probably. You saw how it worked out for them last year. XFL.
Yo.
XFL.
I do think.
By the way, as soon as I start rooting for Houston a little bit, their quarterback starts getting annihilated. I'm like, I don't know if I can jump on this Houston train. They're just letting this kid get killed out there.
Dude, I will say the AFC looks so clearly like a two-team race.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why the other teams are still playing right now.
Yo, you see Patrick Mahomes?
That dude is a video game.
Someone described him as a point guard playing quarterback, and I thought that was the greatest description you could give him as far as like what it looks like to watch him play. Like it legit is like watching Jason Kidd if he was hella swole.
Dude, he threw a no-look across the body, across the field, on the run, laser.
On the back leg. Or the front leg, rather.
Laser. Usually when you throw across the body, across the field, it's one of those lofty, on the run, laser.
One of my closest friends since high school is a big Chiefs fan, so I have to hear all about it. Oh. He was like, dude, you're giving up the race? Then you have to come to my team. I'm like, nah, I have to have a reason to hate you, so.
Dude,
can't go Chiefs.
Mahomes is, I'm just glad Brady's got 1 or 2 more years, but then it is Mahomes' league.
Then that's a wrap.
It's Mahomes' league. But one thing I do think I would love to talk to you about, because you and I, here's why I want to talk to you about it. Because you and I disagree a little bit on this.
Yeah.
But the reason I think it's important for you and I to talk about it is a couple of reasons. One, it's important to be able to show people how you can disagree and still, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, apparently these days you have to show people how to disagree and not mute, block, and cancel each other. But yes, you're right.
It's okay to have different approaches. And the truth of the matter is, guys, it's important to hear other ideas and thoughts. It broadens your horizons.
Mm-hmm.
And the other reason I think it's important.
Martin Luther King's going to agree with you. Malcolm X would disagree. But that's another example of two people wanting the same thing. But yeah, let's talk about this. I think it's important.
Okay, so
it's weird that it has to be important right now. Like I feel like people should already kind of get this, but it's important.
So we know that guy. Everybody's heard so far so much about that dude who said some racially insensitive things about Asian people on a podcast. He basically, and he got fired. He got fired from SNL either today or yesterday. And his name's Shane, and the things he said was on a podcast with he and his friend, and you and I texted back and forth briefly about it over the weekend, and I know it sounds like I'm just grazing over what he said. Everybody, I just don't want to. We all know what he said. There's no reason for me to hop into it too deep. You and I disagreed about it, and it was interesting where your line was and why your line was there, and then I had to really think about why guys, for me, look, I think his biggest offense was that it wasn't funny. it wasn't in the context of a joke.
We agree with that.
Right?
With both those parts, yeah.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't in the context of a joke. And like, because there was a special that came out 2 weeks before that it said way worse stuff. And a guy that you and I both like a lot. And he was funny. He was funny. And so for me, this is what it smelled of for me when I was watching it. It seemed like a dude who was trying to shock. Okay.
I agree with that.
Because for me, I'm not anti-words as long as you give me context and intent. Context and intent. Super important to me. If you would put that word in a joke, and that's the difference between, say, what Andrew Schultz and what Chappelle.
Very
and Burr,
much so. Burr, Richard Pryor,
those guys,
my dad.
Yeah, you're for sure. And these are guys who all push boundaries within jokes. This wasn't a joke. When you do it on a podcast, it's a conversation, and it seems calculated or stupid or racist or ignorant.
It didn't seem it to me. It simply was to me.
Yes. And so for me, I look back on intent. And for me, the intent on this particular thing wasn't even to be funny. It was to shock. It was to prove how edgy I am, because I know the guy. He's not walking around saying that word in everyday language. He's trying to elicit a response, and he's doing it in a bad way. And as a younger comic or younger entertainer trying to make a name for himself. You see a lot of people do this. The Perez Hilton now and the Perez Hilton 10 years ago 10 years ago, it was just a guy trying to make a fucking name for himself, being an asshole and a douchebag.
Yeah, and then once he got humiliated enough times, then he went, oh, maybe now I'm famous and people are saying disgusting things about me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So it's somebody who's trying to make a name.
And still fuck that guy to this day.
100% still fuck that guy, yeah. And I'm not equating Shane to Perez Hilton, because I agree with you on that. But like, it was a fucking, to me, not in context, not the right time to say that word, not to use it, not funny, but not something. Does this mean this guy never gets to work in comedy again? Do you know what I mean? What job is it okay for him to have? He can't work on SNL, but can he work as a gardener? Do you know what I mean?
I think is the thing that people are talking about most now. So intent was the word that you used, right? And to me, it's real simple. When Richard Pryor does his Chinese restaurant bit, there's no hate and there's no disregard for another culture, because it always comes back on him. So when he says, like, when he's doing like, oh, you order the lobster special and this and that, it doesn't end with discrediting the Chinese people in the restaurant. It ends with, hey, you order shit, you eat shit. And that's the punchline. And it always comes back on him. The Bill Burr thing, he takes it in a different direction. He says, how come when black people put the descriptive word first, it's not racist, but if white people put the descriptive word after, it is. So he'll be like, a black person will be like, oh, this motherfucking Asian dude, da-da-da-da. And you're like, oh, what about this motherfucker? But if you go, this Asian motherfucker, then it's racist. So my dad did the joke where he's like, the teachers at school would be like, okay, tomorrow's assignment, I'm done already. Well, why can't everyone be like little Tommy here? Yeah, we'll be like him after school. But then he goes into, but since Kung Fu movies came out, we can't mess with him no more. They'll rip your heart out, show it to you before you die. So there was no hate. What this was, like you said, was a conversation where it was continually discrediting, denigrating, and dismissing another culture for no other reason than to denigrate, disrespect, and dismiss another culture. Jerry Seinfeld did this, but he did it with no denigration. The chopsticks joke. They've seen the fork. They know it works better, but they still use the chopsticks. And I respect them for that. There's no hate. There's no malice. And like you said, it's in the context of a joke. This was a guy who definitely screwed up, who may not say that stuff in front of you, but certainly is comfortable saying it, and I'm sure has said it around other people. And now let's get to the heart of this. Does he deserve to lose his job? Well, I'll say this. I understand why all the comics circled the wagons around this guy, because comics need to have the right to jump into any swimming pool they have a connection to, and they can represent honestly and accurately. And I've seen comics do this from every generation, from the Lenny Bruces to the Richards to the current people that are rocking it today, and everyone in between, all right? And everyone said stuff that today you would be maybe crucified for, but if you analyze the comedy, I think you'd find that there was no hate in the heart of Richard Pryor when it came to that kind of stuff. So You have the right to jump in these pools, but if your intent in any of them is to disregard or be racist, because they say racism is ignorance, right? So if you want to dismiss a culture because you know nothing about it, legit nothing about it, because even the shit he said on MSG was factually inaccurate. That's from Japan, by the way, not China. Just a little fact for you. That's easy to learn, really easy to learn. But you're talking to a guy who wanted to be Asian. I was the one white kid that didn't want to be black. I wanted to be Japanese or Chinese.
My daughter too, by the way.
Okay, I just think it's a cool culture, so I respect it. But once he jumped into that pool, you have to understand, and I get why comics circled the wagons. I just think y'all circled them around the wrong motherfucker. This guy, you're going to make him more famous. He doubled down on his bullshit apology, tripled down after he got fired with that other note, and y'all are going to make him more famous than he should be, and he's going to quadruple down on those types of jokes in his set, and those bullets are going to bounce back on y'all. And that's what we were texting about, because I don't want you backing the wrong dude. I believe in protecting comedians, even comics who I don't agree with everything Sarah Silverman says, but when those people started going in on her and threatening violence over a joke, that motherfucker can go to hell. Yeah. But this is the wrong dude. Andrew Schultz, I think, said it best. He said, they hired someone that wasn't funny, is basically what Andrew said. Yeah. The guy's not funny. I saw a lot of Asian people go, if that's your type of comedy, don't be a stand-up comic. I'll be honest with you, they're right. You're not, if you need to shock people without telling jokes, I agree, to get them to watch you, then maybe you're not that funny. And here's the condemning piece. Before this story ever came out, he had deleted tons of content from his page where he said what Michael Richards got banned for before there was a cancel culture. When he said the N-word in that club, before there was a cancel culture, it basically ended his career. If that word can end the career of Michael Richards, then the C word for Chinese people, or in this case, Chinese people, which is a word that comes from Chinese slave owners during the railroad time when they didn't feel the Chinese man was hammering a spike into the ground long enough, so they called him an effing C word. Right. That word, once he said that, that's a wrap. You have freedom of speech, but young comics, I want y'all to know something. There are still consequences if you want to jump into pools that are pools of racism. If you want to show how stupid and horrible a word is and how pig-headed the morons who used that word were, and you have this interesting way that no one's thought of to do it, then I dare you to make that joke. I challenge you. If you can pull that off, that's sick. But this was not a joke. This was, I'm going to disregard all of them by calling them fucking bleeps. And once you say that and you lose your job, I'm not saying you should have, but don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. That's either naive or arrogant. By the way, it ain't nothing in between.
I agree with pretty much everything you said. My thing is this, is that, again, for me, his most egregious thing was that it wasn't funny.
It was hateful.
It wasn't funny. And not only was it not funny, it wasn't in the context of a joke. No, it was in context of conversation.
Particularly to disrespect a culture. That was the intent. Yes. To shit on and disrespect a culture that he was not educated on. And nor was the podcast partner going along with it.
And
F that guy.
The days of shock value, guys, there's nothing, you can't say anything now that hasn't been said a million times.
Look, Howard Stern had the talent to back it up.
You have to be smarter.
If you're going to try to shock people, you better have the talent to back it up. Otherwise, it's exposing the lack of talent you possess because you need this stuff to get attention. This is the most attention the guy ever got. Not from a joke, not from a punchline, and that stupid statement after the thing, well, I'm more a Mad TV guy anyway, is just letting everyone know that you're not sorry for a single thing you said. And if you're not, brother, if you're not, then please put those videos back up on your YouTube channel. If you're not sorry, put all those videos back up on your channel, put all those videos back up on your space, and watch how many jobs you get. If you're proud of what you do, if this is your craft and you're trying to be edgy and you take pride in this work, then showcase it for the world to see. And if you're not, then check yourself because you're wrong and you know you're wrong. That's my thing. If he was gonna double down, then stand by your work.
I agree with that too.
You deleted your work, bro. That's a bitch move because you're a bitch. And even I'm telling you, man. Like, I saw guys like Joey Diaz get his back, and I'm like, man, this is the wrong dude to get a back on. He's not a comic.
He is a comic.
Well, to me, he's not funny.
Here's what we all kind of circle the wagons. One, where's the line? Who decides what the line is? When you start canceling people, it gets to become a slippery slope.
And it's dangerous for all y'all at that point. And that's why I'm saying I get why you guys circled the wagons, because you need to protect the right to jump in any pool. I just think you circled them around the wrong guy. And if there's a fire in the middle of the wagon train, all the wagons burn up, and the Native Americans that were circling them don't even have to attack. And that's what y'all are dealing with. You got a powder keg in the middle of this circle, and it's going to blow up. And if it does, y'all are going to get hit.
Here's the thing. Like, we all don't, it's a slippery slope, right? And
hard as hell.
There's no doubt. But I don't think you would find anybody who is defending him as being funny, or we're defending the right to be able to say certain things and not be fired or have work taken away or have livelihood taken away.
Now that's the part that I'm going to take issue with, because if there's a saying, like, if you're willing to dish it out, you got to take it. Yep. And if you're going to experiment and take a risk, by the very definition of the word risk, there are major consequences that can happen. And if you're going to go out there, and look, this argument holds up had he told a joke, but he never did.
He never told a joke.
So that's why I don't let this argument play, because he never did it in the context of a joke.
He went shock. He went shocked.
It was just who he is, bro. It's just a conversation that he had because he thought this would be a funny way to entertain people. And there was no joke, and that's why that argument falls flat.
And for me, it's a guy who was trying to make a name for himself by being a certain type of person. And the reason
a lot of YouTube stars got famous doing that.
Yep. And the reason it works for some people, by the way, guys, is it's super authentic. And to me, this just sounded like a dude who was trying to say shit to get attention. My point really is this. Is we can all disagree or agree on, and I don't think you're going to find anyone who's been like, he should have doubled down, or he should keep saying the word. Or
there were a couple. It was weird. I didn't comment on any of them because I'm not trying to get in that space.
But my thing is this, is like, okay, so now he's not allowed on SNL. What is he allowed to do? Do you know what I mean?
There'll be plenty of colleges in the South that'll take him.
No, but what is it? What is the cancel culture okay with him doing now for work?
They'll be okay with nothing. They want these people to suffer the way they suffer. That's what cancel culture is.
But that's my point. My point is
power, and everyone that gets power turns into Trump. They all get corrupt. That's what power does.
But that's the point. The point is, like,
look what Deborah Messing did and Eric McCormick.
It's
that's a power thing, man. Like,
but they shouldn't have done that either.
Someone said that I was Republican.
I remember that.
Their chain. I legit had someone scream, "Fucking Trumper," and throw an unopened Arizona iced tea can at me.
When?
Now, this was like 2 days after she tweeted that. Now, if that would have hit me in the head, that's a wrap on your boy. I'm like, yo, I've been an independent for over 12 years.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna just put that kind of like irresponsible stuff out there? Like, celebrities have to understand something. I know we all want to believe in that old school Charles Barkley commercial, "I'm not a role model," right? Whether you want to be one or not, you are, and you're in a position to influence others. It's why I don't do anything political on social media, because I'm not educated enough on the topic where I feel comfortable influencing anyone that might. Let's say I got 1,000 followers. Let's say I can only get 3 of them to do anything I say. That's 3 people that if I say vote for this dude, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. It's a power that people should not covet. It's an influence that no one should want. All fascists think they're right. Okay? It's like when vegans preach veganism on Twitter, it's like, yo, you're making a personal decision based on feelings for animals. But we all agree fascism is wrong. And when you're saying that I'm a murderer and I'm doing this, you're literally imposing your morality on me. How do you not see you can't do that? And celebrities do that all the time.
That's how I feel with this kid. Look.
But that's my point. They don't want to put power on that platform because what he said was gross, disgusting, and racist. Not racially insensitive, racist. I'm not saying he's a racist. I don't know the dude. I don't know him. But what he said was by definition, racist.
What if I, okay.
Now, you're a comic, so you take jokes differently.
Yes.
And I've heard you say, dude, I've heard every Jewish joke in the world. But let me tell you something. You may take a joke differently than him, but if you and I are sitting in here, and there's even another comic, and he dropped the K word, the word we hate to describe Jews, right?
Can I say it?
No, you can't. Because listen, now I'm finishing this sentence.
Okay.
Even if he was your friend, before you processed what word he just said, and before your brain was able to comprehend what the hell is Freddie doing to that guy, he would be in a hospital. Because I got zero patience and zero tolerance. I'm not Martin Luther King. I'm not about peace and tolerance and all that. If you're willing to cross that line, I'm going to meet your energy with an equal and opposite reaction. And you're going to know that that was a terrible, terrible, terrible choice of words. And the next time I'm around or you're around Josh, you're not going to use that word. You have learned a lesson.
Can I tell you something? And for me, I try not to give those words that power.
I understand that. And there's a few men on earth and women on earth that have been able to do that over the years. Hidron Gracie has a similar philosophy. Martin Luther King had a similar philosophy. There's rappers that have a similar philosophy. Yeah. I've just never been able to wrap my head around that. I've never been able to do it.
Yeah, for me, like...
It's not wrong. No, I just can't do it.
If you call me a word, it doesn't bother me. If I feel like I'm in some sort of danger that comes along with all that, of course. But if you're just sitting across from me and you're just being an asshole, you're an asshole. Yeah,
and for me, if someone does that, they're getting clocked.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean? Like they need to me, they need to be on the seat of their pants looking up. Why did that happen? Oh, I said that. Yeah. And then I see that realization. I go, okay, they're not going to screw up twice.
You know,
But it's hard,
when I was a young comic. Now, when I was in high school, all my best friends are black. And, you know, I did some breakdancing. Yeah, man. You know,
I saw how you dressed.
I was, yeah.
You were hip hop, bro.
So
don't be ashamed. You were hip hop.
When I was a young comic, maybe when I first got to LA, probably if I used to do a joke about how, you know, you're friends with black people, but there's still certain lines you can't cross.
Yeah.
Right? So I did a joke where I was talking about we were all at my friend's house and I had led up to it, how we're also buddies and we were joking with each other. So it's a nice little lead up at 3 or 4 minutes. It's fun. And everybody was making some jokes. And then one of my friends made a joke about me, right? And my thing, what I said back to him was N-word with an A, not E-R. N-word, please. But I said the word out loud on stage. And it was dead silence. Now, by the way, the first time I ever did the joke, I did it in front of an all-black crowd on purpose. And I followed it with, please don't beat me up. Right? N-word, please. Pause. Please don't beat me up. Right?
I bet that joke killed.
It did.
Yeah.
There was context. It was a joke.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do that joke now.
My dad had one where he talked about his best friend, Nat.
Dude, your dad pushed the limits.
Yeah. And it was this whole thing where his buddy Nat wanted to learn Kung Fu. So we went to Mr. Wong's Kung Fu. He said, hey, Mr. Wong, I'm trying to learn some Kung Fu. I heard you're a great teacher. Mr. Wong said, wow, if you know Kung Fu, you'll be able to avoid that. And Nat said, no fooling, brother. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to take some lessons. Mr. Wong said, what? And if you know Kung Fu, you'll be able to avoid that. My dad goes, and my man Nat went, and if you knew N-words, you'd be able to avoid that. And that's the joke, right? And so in that context, there's no hate. There's no disrespect. There's no line crossed. There's no line approached. It's love and it's comedy and it's oh shit kind of humor. And that's where the other guy falls so short.
I agree with we agree on
no joke, no stage, no platform.
And by the way, I said this the other day to somebody. Because,
by the way, I have friends that use the N-word with me that are black, Puerto Rican black, and they call that to me, and I've never been able to say the word because it's just connected to too much hate. And even if I've had friends be like, man, you call me, I don't care. I was like, it's not a word. It makes me mad when you say it to me.
But by the way, when I was telling that story, your fists were clenched.
I'm telling you.
When I was telling that story, I looked at your hands. I'm like, oh, his fists are clenched right now.
Someone said that to a real close friend of mine when I was in high school. And his mother was in the car. This was 1992, 93. I was a junior in high school. I was driving his mom.
I already had 8 kids by 92.
For real, bro. Raised them all good. She was a nurse, and she had to come. She had to come to school to deal with some stuff for her boy. And I was driving them home. She didn't have a car. She took the bus to work. And we're at a stoplight, and this was 90, whatever. I said 92, 93. And my buddy threw some trash out the window, black dude. And this white guy's on the corner. And he goes, "You dirty fucking bleep." And he said it. And I heard my friend's mom, I don't want to say his name or her name. I heard her kind of like gasp audibly, kind of like a, like that. And this woman, she was a nurse. She'd been good to me for 15 years. The next thing, I don't even remember getting out of the car. I just remember this guy crying like a kid. And this was a grown man. I was a kid. I was 16 years old beating up a grown man. If I knew how to fight, he did. Yeah. He just knew how to be racist. And hate littering, which he should have. But I beat this man so bad, and I almost went to jail had the cops not been black that came. Because I was in the wrong. Like, you can't just assault someone because you don't like what they say, right? But I was crying because I was so upset, and I broke this down to the cops, and we got away scot-free. Had I been a black man, I probably would have been in jail.
Yeah, still.
But that's why, to this day, like, it's still, like, my friend John Lee Brody, right? Korean dude. That dude, Shane, what he said offended him deeply, and I saw John tweet it, and all I wrote was an F with 50 U's after, yo, fuck that guy. And I'll be real with you. He needs a come to Jesus speech because he ain't sorry. And he will quadruple down on this. And
you are right also. He's going to get work from this.
Yeah. Yep, and I'm telling you, it's going to get bad. Somebody somewhere is going to be like, oh, he's got a show? Okay. Me and my 6 badass Chinese friends, and we all train MMA, and we all want to be UFC fighters. We're going to go to your show, and we're going to see how funny you are, motherfucker. And it's going to get bad. This is where this country keeps, all we go towards is conflict. Nobody wants to talk about, like, growth. We just want to talk about conflict.
I will tell you what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to get a bunch of work initially. By the way, this happens with... And when you're forced into the spotlight and you're not ready, it happens with Last Comic Standing comics. It's happened with Chelsea comics. It's happened with Girl Code and Guy Code
with
comics.
Actors and musicians, pro wrestlers, so, entertainment in
general.
Guys,
he is going to get work from this. I don't know his work well enough or his stand-up well enough to tell you. Look, it happens with some YouTubers. They sell out shows. They're not ready to do an hour.
Bro, Logan Paul and that KR, whatever his name is, are going to have another boxing fight at Staples, and it's going to be a legit boxing fight with other boxers on. They're going to main event it. Yeah. And the real boxers, if they were just on the card, there'd be 400 people there. They'll probably have about 15,000 if they don't sell out Staples Center. And that dude said some crazy shit on his channel where I was like, wow, they're just going to let him do whatever the hell he wants? Okay.
But I think what'll happen with this guy, Shane, is... if he's smart, he will get to work. He will start making sure he's funny because people will come out and see you that first time.
Yeah.
But if you're not funny at the end of the day, even if they want to be like, we are okay with you saying whatever, they're not spending their money on you again. So we'll see what happens with him. I think you're right. I will tell you, like, to me, there are some lines that are called racist now. For example, if I was telling you a story about me and a guy who was German, and I did a German accent, it would be fine. But if I told you a story about me and a guy who was Asian, and he had an Asian accent, and I did the Asian accent, it's somehow seen as not fine. And I will tell you, for me...
I can explain exactly why.
But for me, I'll tell you...
World War II anti-Japanese propaganda
but like even Sweden or... To me, if I'm telling you a story, and the person in the story has an accent, I'm using that accent.
I feel you, but let me explain it. It's kind of like when white people go, I don't understand why blackface is offensive.
Well, I do understand that.
You do it because you understand the history on it.
Yeah.
So the history on the accent comes from an anti-Japan campaign in World War II that went so far that even Looney Tunes and their top directors made a cartoon that has since been pulled, but you can see it online. It's called Bugs Bunny Nips the Nips, which is the N-word for Japanese people back then. It's horrible. And that accent is basically comes from the Mr. Moto character that was an incredibly racist character. It's no different than making the Mammy character animated. And that voice comes from that guy, and that's why it's found so offensive. It's literally the Asian equivalent of blackface because it comes from a time when America was a proponent of hate against Japanese people. So because the concept of it was born and bred in hate and disrespect, the use of it today, they say ignorance is no excuse to break the law. Well, that applies in this morality too to the culture that's been offended. So that's where that comes from, and I agree. That said, when Richard Pryor does it, it's not offensive because there's no hate.
That's what I'm saying.
So when you can do things, I've told you to be careful one time, like a year ago.
Yeah.
You did, and I was like, yo, you better be careful. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Now, I know you have no hate in your heart, but other people won't, and they won't care whether you do or not. They won't take the time to learn about you. That's why I said, I don't know if the guy's a racist, because I don't know him, but what he said was racist. So that's kind of where that falls in line.
For me, it's all about, intent, context. If I'm walking down the street and just doing an Asian accent to people for no reason, because I think it sounds funny, I understand people being a little up in arms about it.
You crossed the line, yeah.
But if I'm telling you a story and the person in the story is Asian and the person in the story has an accent.
And if you're the type of person that when you tell stories, you characterize it, which is what I do too. So I'm
using a black voice if I have to, Swedish, German, extra white, Southern, New York. I don't care what accent it is. If it's part of the story, I'm using the accent. Yeah. If you're that sensitive about that.
It's the L to R that the Mr. Moto character represented that they find so offensive, and rightfully so. The character was made to inspire hate of another culture and to encourage ridicule so that you don't look at them as equals. You see them as something that's subhuman, so it's easier to ridicule, shoot, and kill them.
2014,
so that's where it came from.
2014, there was a sketch on, I think it was 2014, the sketch on SNL with Fred Armisen, who went over the top accent, Asian.
I didn't watch SNL back then.
But it's just funny to me about where people are drawing their
You already said it. It's intent. And I think everyone who saw that video clearly, the intent is right there because there's simply no punchline.
There's no intent.
And it's not that he was trying to tell a joke and the joke died. That defense does not hold up.
I agree.
And so that's why they're like, oh, your intent is very clear. And I'm looking at it right here. They call it on the internet nowadays, that's called receipts.
Yes.
We got receipts.
Yeah. By the way, I love that. I do love that saying, dude.
Yeah, it's money, right?
My thing is I think his intent was to shock. And I think we're past that.
Shocked by shitting on a culture he thought America would be okay shitting on. Yeah.
So, and I think we're past
because I promise that dude doesn't say the N-word.
No.
Because he knows he get his shit kicked out.
Probably a good idea. Yeah. And in New York, you don't want to say anything about Puerto Ricans or anything like that.
You'll get the shit kicked out. Yeah. But for whatever reason, we think it's okay still to make fun of Chinese people, and that C word is somehow okay. No, it's going to get the shit kicked out of you. Yeah. And if you say it, you deserve it.
So
everyone deserves a good slap once in a while. We're all guilty of it. You and I
both said everyone in America should get punched in the face at least once.
Because everyone said something worthy of getting punched in the face at least once.
But my whole thing is
I'm sure Gandhi says some shit one time.
Is we can't go back and check receipts on everybody. I just want everybody to look themselves in the mirror.
They can't? They will.
You will. But look at yourself in the mirror and think about the top 5 worst things you've ever said. And see if you want to be judged by that for the rest of your life.
And that's a good question. However, the argument that kind of takes the brick out of that is they don't have a platform that people will follow. Yep. And he does. And when you have
But he didn't. That was so deep. Oh boy, there were probably 8 views on that motherfucker.
Okay, but like I said, if I have 100 followers and 3 of them are going to do what I say, I have to be more responsible.
Yeah.
I guess you don't have to be. I choose to be more responsible. Yeah. So if he wants to choose to be irresponsible, that's his choice. But like I tell my kids, if you choose to live irresponsibly, you're going to find a lot of people don't want to hire you.
Yeah.
If you can't follow the rules, a lot of people aren't going to want to hire you. The Hannibal Buress thing, like, bro, you burnt down your last job. How you going to get references?
Yeah.
Like, the guy's going to be like, look, I see your references. I like to hire ex-cons, but I'm going to hire one of the other 12 applicants that didn't burn down their last job. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's consequences with your actions.
No,
And if you want to be risky, that's going to happen. You jump out of a plane, Jeff Dye, you might actually die, Jeff Dye. So let's have that be a one-time thing because I like you. I think your jokes are funny. He has to deal with this sort of like anti-man-woman stuff all the time based on some of his jokes.
You know, honestly, what doesn't help him?
He's good looking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really doesn't help him that he's good looking.
Yeah, he's pretty.
Because he's good looking and he's talking about women.
Yeah.
And so right away.
But as soon as they go in on him, he hits him with that great joke. If Amy Poehler was saying this, you'd be screaming and clapping and going, she gets us, and paying $200 a ticket. And he shits on himself in that same moment. That's why it's such a money joke.
There are
no hate from that guy.
Yeah, none, dude. And you know what?
I like when he makes
He goes back to people with a smile.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
His Jesus bit is money, too. Because a lot of people are atheists now, and his Jesus bit is so...
Yeah.
Andrew Schultz's atheism bit is... And to go against atheism as younger men these days is very hard, because most, I find, people don't believe in God anymore. And both of them have great takes on those topics as well. But again, no hate. You want to see edgy? Watch Andrew Schultz. I watched this guy, no joke, do a joke in Toronto to an Egyptian crowd about clitoral castration.
What did I tell you was the difference between...
The crowd...
Loved it.
Loved it.
What did I tell you the difference was between... The major difference between him... Remember I texted you the difference between him and this kid? Listen, guys.
Tell me.
He smiles and laughs to let you know what his intent is.
Yeah.
He smiles and laughs to let you know I'm joking too. We all can laugh about this together.
Schultz's Asian joke was one of the best ones I heard. He was like, y'all stole breakdancing from black people, man. You do this windmill so nice, you fly all the way up.
Yeah.
Because you got small dicks. Black people's dicks hold them to the ground. It's like an anchor. They can't get it. And so, I mean, but it's all love, man. He puts every culture over. And that dude educates himself on cultures before he goes
he's smart, too.
And he asks questions. And he wants to learn about you to find out, you're fucked up, but so am I.
A smile or a laugh. I want to... If the jackass guys didn't laugh with each other after every...
jerks.
Then nobody would watch that. They'd be like, what are they doing to each other? They laugh to let you know it's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
And so another problem was, again, with this guy, no joke, delivered it like a conversation, like he's talking to somebody. Yep. And for me, shock, just a shock is 1980. We're not doing that shit anymore. Educate yourself, be funnier, be smarter.
And Stern had what it took before that. He used shock to get people to listen to a show that he already had, that existed, and the content was there, and the people he had were creative. It might have been crass, it might have been gross, but it was still creative. And he used shock to be able to empower his show that he was getting resistance on, but it was already established. Like, when you're just using shock and you don't have the content, and especially when you delete your content, then something's a little fishy.
Just be funnier, but I really think everybody's instinct to just fucking get the tiki torches out.
You're not going to stop that. Cancel culture is not ever going to go away because people want power. That's what a hashtag is.
So crazy.
A hashtag is group power. Hey, we can't do this on our own, but let's do hashtag quit Prinze and the Wolf. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, boom, and then one person retweets it. And the retweet means I'm right. It's like art people, like I got Rob Liefeld, the comic book artist who created Deadpool.
Yeah.
Like, people shit on him all the time on social media. And it's like, yo, man, the difference between criticism and opinion is experience and an education on the topic.
Yeah.
You have neither. It's an opinion. I know those likes, when people push that heart button, make you feel like you're right. You're still wrong. It's just all those likes are wrong too. Because you don't know what you're talking about.
What time you got?
I got 12:09, dog.
Wow, we really plowed through this. I was gonna do.
I had so much good stuff too, man. It'll be bad next week.
I did want to give us a Mount Rushmore of dream home improvements.
I'm in the dream home, bro.
Yeah.
What else? No, I got a lot of changes I would make.
Okay, we can whip through these.
Yeah, I think I already know. I can name 10.
Are you gonna take the water slide or the fire pole?
I don't get that automatically. I thought I already chose my water slide.
Okay,
that shouldn't have any.
Okay, so
This house, just so you know, that I'm adding to already has the water slide from the attic to the pool.
Okay, perfect. And do you have the fireman pole too?
No, but that might be one of my things. We'll see. Well, you don't know. We'll see.
All right, I know what mine is right away.
You want to start? Go ahead, start.
See, I don't want the slide to the pool, but I do want the twisty slide from the top floor all the way down to the bottom floor.
Just to get to your living room in a Ricky Schroeder Silver Spoons kind of way? Cruising on a train?
Yeah.
You're going to be a duck phone that quacks.
Dude, I want the slide from the top to the bottom.
I like it. My first one, very simple. Mm-hmm. I want a dumb waiter. You remember what those were?
Just a stupid guy to walk around?
No, man. No, it was a little slot in the kitchen of like hotels, and they would put the meal in there, slide the door closed, and then they would pull this little rope and it would go up to the floor that the food was needed on, right?
Yeah.
So like rich people in New York had these in their homes.
Oh.
I want a dumb waiter that goes from my kitchen to my attic so I can just wheel it up, have a nice plate of fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy.
I love that.
Some like whatever, spinach, kale, collard greens, whatever green, and then something nice to drink. And I just open it, set it down next to me, and I keep playing Gears of War 5.
And you send that dumb waiter back down?
It goes down. When the dish is done, I don't even have to wash the dish. I just put it in.
Number 2 for me, a mini Fenway Park in my backyard to play wiffle ball in.
What, bro?
I want to play wiffle ball in the backyard in a mini Fenway Park. I want stands. I want a concession stand. I want the whole thing. Each stand holds 20 people. We got a little dugout. We got a mini Fenway Park. And someone selling hot dogs.
Okay. My number, that's ridiculous. You're going to have staff at your house that sell hot dogs?
I'll hire them for the event.
For the event, okay. So my number 2, I'll save that one for last.
Oh, shit. All right.
My number 2, this one's kind of mean. All right. I still get, even though I did the telephone do not call list, I still get telemarketers, okay? So I would like a feature in my house that whenever a telemarketer calls, the address from where they're calling pops up, right? So now I know where these motherfuckers work. And if I'm interested in their product, I can go down there and discuss it with them in an equally harassing way that they harass me. So I want a device that would hack and let me know where you're calling from. Now I want that in my house because I get telemarketers probably 3 to 6 a day. And I only use my phone to answer the gate at the guard gate at the front of the house. So the only other time it rings is when these jerks call me.
I like that one. How about this one? I want my house set up so and it's set on rankings of importance of people in the house. So so when you walk into the room, so say you're number 1 on the list, so whoever's the most important in your house, automatically the room changes temperature to that person. The person
Bill Gates has this in his house.
The music that person likes,
the art you like changes
everything.
on. Bill Gates actually has this. You can actually do this. I'm not joking, bro. You gotta make some more dough.
But but I'm sure Bill Gates is number 1 in his
Today's
house,
episode didn't have no sponsor. We're not there yet.
But so I'm sure Bill Gates is number 1 at the house, or is it his wife? Because
I think Bill would put himself
You
first.
walk in and you're just gonna fuck up somebody else's day.
He's like, yo, I wear sneakers. This is my one indulgence.
And you know what I would do, man? Because I like to fuck with people. I would just run in and out of the people's rooms. Be like, how you doing?
Oh, I thought you were gonna you'd reset the temperatures. They like, oh, you like it cold? I'll make it hot.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I'd go opposite everybody else, and I would just run
in and out
of rooms. You don't like
Van Gogh? All Van Gogh.
Van Gogh and Van Halen.
And Van Halen.
Yeah, but that's what I would have.
Okay. My third one, you know how they make those massage chairs that are like really nice now?
Yeah.
I'm getting a massage bed.
Oh.
You know they have the Posturepedic ones.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. For that's just old people need some leverage under their legs. I want a full massage every night while I sleep. I want a massage to wake me up. I want a massage to put me down. I want a massage bed that knows if I'm having a bad dream, it just gives me a little squeeze to let me know everything's okay.
Like a Mack Weldon bed.
Like a Mack Weldon bed. They ain't sponsoring us today. Don't give them no love.
I like that one.
So that's my third one. My fourth one is solid gold.
You ready?
You go ahead.
Okay.
But my fourth, I'm telling you, it's better than a water slide to the pool.
My fourth one, in the backyard, you be able to get in a car. Like a little go-kart.
Okay.
And there's like going to be a Grand Prix track.
Dude,
all throughout the back. I've got a big sprawling backyard.
Through Mini Fenway as well.
Yeah. Around Mini Fenway.
Anytime there's a home run, go-kart, you like cruise over like the top of your mini Fenway.
But a giant go-kart track through the jungles. I'm going to set up different terrains.
You'd be the most favorite dad on the block
of all time. So
I wouldn't let any kids.
That's what I go. No kids.
So when I was a kid, there was a house that did this in New Mexico, they lived way out in the desert and had tons of space. So the dad, who was in construction, got a bulldozer and literally bulldozed this crazy dirt go-kart track that had berms on both sides. I mean, he built it up. We called him Big Wade. His son was Little Wade, Wade Jr. And Lil Wade and I used to get in these go-karts. And I'm telling you, I mean, we didn't wear helmets, no seatbelts, no adult supervision.
Was it like in the ground?
In the ground. He dug it with a bulldozer, and it was huge. And we would just do it for hours on end. I completely agree. You should do that.
We went double go-kart at the end.
No, that's not what I'm picking.
Oh.
No. I'm just telling you, I actually did that.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I actually got to do that. My fourth one is easy, and it's the best upgrade anyone could have in their home.
Okay.
And once I say it, you can have it too, because they'll be mass-produced. I want Rosie.
Rosie?
You know who Rosie is. Who's Rosie?
You mean the electronic maid?
From the motherfucking Jetsons.
From Jetsons?
I want Rosie.
But you already got a dumbwaiter.
That just takes food up and down. Dude, I got a robot that can tell me anything because it's a computer, right? I got a built-in Siri. Cooks, cleans up, could carry me where I need to go, do anything you need to do. It's not a sex robot that's going to kill you. It's not like...
Wait. Why are sex robots killing you?
I don't know. Some Whitney Cummings says some shit about sex robots killing you, man. That robot she has is so weird.
I know,
dude.
it's fucking
so
freaky,
weird.
Yeah.
She's pretty slick with the ideas she comes up with.
Really, yeah. Well, that's a good one, man. You're
Rosie. Everyone needs a Rosie, bro.
What are you naming Rosie? You can't.
Rosie.
Yeah, there's already Rosie.
Yeah, that's the bot. It's called a Rosie bot.
You double Rosie?
Remember like that movie Cherry 2000?
No.
You don't remember Cherry 2000?
Never seen it. Don't even know what you're referring to.
All right. Can we end the podcast on the summary, on
100%.
the synopsis of Cherry 2000?
Let me just say this. ComedianJoshWolf.com, everybody, for tour dates. I am on the road all over the place. Come to Boston this weekend, West Palm Beach weekend after that, Philadelphia weekend after that. Come get some.
So good cities, bro. Good cities. All right. Cherry 2000. It's the near future. Now, when this movie was made in the 80s, it's a future that's kind of going on right now. But cyborgs are a part of us, androids, basically. And some of them you can hire as assistants. You could have a sex robot. You could have a wife. And one of the models is a Cherry 2000. And it's like the perfect Stepford wife. She's gorgeous, the woman who plays her. It's not an actress. She was probably a model. She didn't have much dialogue in it. But she is the one that everyone wants. Like, she's the high upper-end model. In the beginning of the movie, he comes home. You don't know she's an android. You just hear, "Hi, honey. I missed you so much." And he's like, "Yeah, I missed you too. Tough day at the office?" "Nah, not too tough. Just glad to be home. I made your favorite dinner." But she looks kind of pretty, right? So, and she's also washing the dishes because she's already cleaning before the dinner's even done. Like, that's how robotic and Stepford she is. So, but instead of dinner, they start smooching. And you're like, dang, this girl cooks, cleans, as she's smooching him up. She's going to have sex with him first, and then he's going to eat dinner. This is a robot I would want. And they fall down on the floor. Dishwasher malfunctions. Water starts to flood the floor. A real flood, not one my wife would claim. And all of a sudden, this girl, this wife, this beautiful Stepford wife, she starts short-circuiting. And then and has a seizure, and the guy freaks out, and then you realize she's a robot, and she's broken. And he goes to the manufacturer. They don't make Cherry 2000s anymore. But they could interest him in a Suzanne 100 or whatever. And he's like, no. You don't have a relationship with. He's like, hey, you have a relationship with a robot, bro. He's like, it's not just a robot. Her AI interprets, my information, my feelings, and I feel like I have a real connection. He's like, dude, there's no more Cherry 2000. Well, there might be one in the robot graveyard in Nevada,
it's like Pet Cemetery.
But nobody goes there. You can't go there. There's raiders out there, and that'll take, they'll kill you. And it's like not post-apocalyptic, but it's no joke.
Who stars in this?
Melanie Griffith is the lead.
Okay.
So the guy says, look, there's one person that can help you. Go talk to Eddie in this Bakersfield. He's like, all right. So he goes to Bakersfield. Hey, you seen Eddie? These guys are like, yeah, I know Eddie. Boom, boom, boom. They rob him. He's like, that's not fucking Eddie. He goes and he sees finally, Eddie's not the name, but he sees this sign on a bill that says Eddie Tracker. He's like, that must be Eddie. Goes in, Eddie's a girl. It's Melanie Griffith. but she's a robot tracker, and she can find you any android you want. But she's also Melanie Griffith in the 80s, and she's looking kind of nice. So, of course, they're going to fall in love on this journey, right?
Yeah.
So they journey out. They find the head of the...
kind of nice, by the way.
They find the head of the Raiders, right, that kills people, and it's comedian Tim Thomerson, and he's a sociopath motivational speaker. So after he kills people, he goes, "We need to feel good about this, okay? Let's all hold hands." It's super weird and cultish and creepy. They're chasing him. They're trying to get to the robot. We finally get to the robot graveyard. There's hot Cherry 2000s everywhere covered in plastic like mannequins. He puts the computer chip from his Cherry 2000 into one. Boom, she comes to life. But at this moment, our guy realized he's in love with a real human. He wants to have that real connection. Not a robot that says yes all the time, but someone says, "That's the stupidest fucking idea I've ever heard." Now, why anybody would want to take that over the robot that says yes? I don't know. It's beyond me. But he then goes off with her. And Tim Thomerson ends up, I think he gets Cherry at the end of the movie. He don't even die.
Good for Tim.
Yeah, so that's the movie. It's a cult classic. I can't believe no one's tried to remake it yet. They should. It would be super good. With the performances you got out of the people at dance night, you should fucking direct it. If you would have directed me in a movie, you'd have pulled out a performance and people went, "Holy shit, man, Freddie's the man," instead of, "Man, I hate that fucking guy."
I can't wait for you to see the first dance off, dude. I'm going to definitely post on that one.
Post it.
Guys, this has been a great podcast.
We're so great.
It's
Let's
really...
pat ourselves on the back, how great we are.
I was talking Gauge.
Well, he was all right, too.
Good job in there, Gauge.
Yeah, good job, Gage.
You really did. Gauge.
No, your Gauge is in Venice sunbathing. Gage is working hard.
What's wrong with sunbathing, bro?
It's work time. That's what's wrong. It's work time. It's not time to sunbathe. And that's the problem with Gauge. He's undisciplined.
Prinze and the Wolf.